Hi everybody, welcome to Defi.impossible, where we defy the narrative, boundaries, limits of what people believe, think, and do. And in today's video, we're going to talk about disabilities and the most common misconception about disability. That is a major problem that we need to talk about. And that is the perception of deaf, blind, and wheelchair. There's this idea that that it's all binary. You either can see or you can't. You either can hear or you can't. You either can walk or you can't. But the problem is it's not that simple. There's more to disabilities than we think, especially when it comes to hearing, vision, and wheelchair. So let's talk about each of these three things. First of all, vision. I have coloboma in both eyes, spots on my retina, and even though I look like I'm functional with my eyes, it is so commonly misunderstood that I got fired from Walmart because I couldn't see the move fast enough, and I couldn't get the accommodations I needed. And the misconception about eye vision is just because you're wearing glasses does not mean you have 20/20 vision. For me, the original reason why I got glasses was to protect my eyes. And over time, I really did need them. What for eyesight is very, very complex. It is like a camera, so to speak. If you break a camera or it's on the wrong settings, it's going to output different things. The camera is broken one way, so it's going to look one way. If there's a different part of the camera broken, it's going to look a different way. And when you adjust the settings of the camera, depending on the settings, it's going to show the same scenery in a different way. And that's the same concept with an eye. It is so complex that you're going to have a wide spectrum of an eyesight. In fact, only a very small percentage of people are completely blind. And over 90% of people have some form of vision, some range of vision. And for me, I like to tell people I can see enough to drive a four-wheeler or drive a tractor, but I can't see enough to successfully mow the lawn, and I can't see enough to drive a car on the road. It's a spectrum. Now, second, and before I go into the next one, a really good YouTube video channel is Matthew and Paul. They are an interable couple, as they call themselves, because one has blindness and the other can see. And he has a guide dog, and they talk a lot about vision. So that's a good channel if you want to learn a little bit more about disabilities and vision. Next, deafness. That's another range. People tend to think, oh, here, I'll turn up the volume a little bit. Or, oh, here, can you read my lips? And the list goes on. But it's also a lot more complicated than that, too. Some people can hear background noise, others can't. Some hear different types of frequencies, others can't. And then you have to deal with different types of background noises, echoes, and it's just as complicated as an eyesight. So I have 2 cochlear implants, right that I've had for 5 years. The left I only have for 9 months, and right now I don't get hardly anything out of it right now. I have to train my brain to try and hear and process things more, and that's a process. And who knows what I'll be able to hear with it in 5 years. So again, even people with disabilities have a hard time explaining it, because disabilities is not binary. It is a range of hearing. It is a range of eyesight. And a good video for deafness, sign duo talks about being deaf and being in a inter-able relationship. Deaf and and his wife, that signs, and that's a good video, good channel. And I plan to react to some of their videos, because one of the nuances of disabilities is when you have a combination of them, and people think if you're blind and deaf, then, or rather, they don't think about the people that are blind and deaf. And I don't fault them for that. I mean, of course they're not going to think about people that are deaf and blind, because that's not their thing. And that is a topic for another video. So let's talk about the third one, wheelchairs. This is a big misconception where people see someone in a wheelchair, get up and get in their car, transfer to a toilet or a bed, and be like, but he just moved, he just walked. Why does he need a wheelchair? Again, a spectrum. There's a range. There's more to what's going on for why that person needs a wheelchair. They could have inflammation days where parts of their bodies just inflamed that they can't walk. They have back problems, arthritis, multiple sclerosis, ALS, and the first one, multiple sclerosis, I'm not sure I said that right, but MLS, nerve damage, spinal damage. There's just so much. Just because the person can walk a few steps doesn't mean they can walk as much as a normal person. They need that wheelchair. If they didn't, the doctor wouldn't prescribe it to them. So try not to make assumptions when you talk to people with disabilities. Consider asking open questions to help you understand. And thank them for teaching you. We're happy to help you understand. What we can't stand is being judged and accused of lying. And yes, I have been accused of lying. One time I had this high school interpreter back in the 90s, a very, very different time for people with disabilities, pulled me out of the classroom and told me to stop lying about my disabilities, that you are wearing glasses, so that means you have 20/20 vision, so therefore stop lying. She refused to believe me. I almost failed biology because of them, and I wasn't allowed to use my monocular to see the board because it was weird, it was rude, it's inappropriate to use that. No, you don't need that. Well, why did Dr. Freeman give it to me if I don't need it? Why was that weird and inappropriate for using it? That means I was accused of lying a lot when I was in high school. So, please remember when meeting people with disabilities that there is a range on a spectrum. It's never, you can't see, you can see, you can't hear, you can hear, you can't walk, you can walk. There is a spectrum. So let's ask open questions like, tell me about your eyesight or your hearing, or how can I help you, or some other open questions that I can't think of at the moment. But there are resources out there that can help you. And before I forget again, wheels. Well, maybe I did mention it. Wheels to Walking is a bit in the YouTube channel that deals with walking and riding a wheelchair. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a raw one, and hopefully I'm sure I'll get better at filming and streaming. It's one of the problems with being blind is I could make a script of this, but then if I try to make a script of it, I can't look at the camera and read the script at the same time. It'll be a bit more like this. But thank you for watching. If you got any value from it, have any questions, or want to share examples of when you've been misunderstood or had awkward moments, feel free to comment below. Like, subscribe, have a great day. Peace.